Today I'd like to talk about a little bit about Naaman. And I was reading this morning, and that was one of the stories that I was reading, and it reminded me of how some of us are today. Naaman was a very, very powerful general, and if we read about him, he was honorable, and he was well liked by the king of Syria, and he was very respected, and he was high up on the chain, like he was number 2 in command basically. And his problem was he had leprosy, and a servant girl in his household, had basically said, hey, if you go see the prophet in Israel, you could be healed of your leprosy. And of course, anyone with a disease would naturally want to get it healed. So he goes and he tells the king of Syria, who sends a letter to the king of Israel saying that this is my servant Naaman, which obviously they knew because Naaman was, Syria was kicking their butt in battle. So here comes this letter from the king of Syria to the king of Israel saying, heal this man of leprosy. And it's obviously brought to the king's attention about the prophet Elisha. But it's interesting because Naaman chooses to go to a palace. He chooses to go to nobility and royalty where he's used to spending his time. And that's not at all what this servant girl had said. She never said, go see the king, go to the palace. She said, go see the prophet in Israel. So the king makes arrangements for him to go to see the prophet. So he goes expecting the prophet to come out and have this big fanfare, but he doesn't. He sends his servant out, and his servant tells Naaman to go dip in the Jordan River 7 times. And of course, Naaman is like, are you kidding me? Like, there's so many better rivers that I have to go dip in the Jordan. And it wasn't until Naaman humbled himself and took off his armor. And when he did this, he exposed his leprosy to all around him. Like, when his armor came off, people that didn't know what the issue was saw that he was covered in leprosy. And sometimes it's like that with us. We can hide our sin. We can hide what's going on in our life from those around us. And it's not until we strip down and we show these things and we humble ourselves. Naaman had to go into this dirty river and dip 7 times. And it wasn't because the Jordan River is anything special or this water is, has any healing qualities to it. It was because he had to get in a position where he could humble his heart enough to say, I'm going to expose myself, my flaws, my disease, my sin to all these people around me. And I want to be healed that much. I want to be made whole. And sometimes we have to do that today. We have to put down the things that are covering us up. And we have to say, enough is enough. I want Christ to heal this. I want to move forward. And we can't hide, behind our armor anymore. We have to take it off and say, this is me. And we have to go dip in the Jordan 7 times. And Christ will make us whole, just like he did with Naaman.